Hi, welcome back to Creations. I'm Claire, and today we'll be sewing up the new pattern, the Quinn wallet by RLR Creations. I just want to say, sorry I've been missing in action. My son's condition has deteriorated a bit, and my mental health hasn't been great, and just life and my sojo disappeared. So I'm back. You will need, all of my videos are to go alongside the pattern. You will need the pattern from RLR Creations to make the wallet, or all the videos you need them. They're not step by step. I do try to do it step by step, but sometimes being neurodiverse, my brain doesn't always work exactly the same way as Rachel's. So it's to show you how to put it together, or how I've put it together for people who need a visual aid as well. So this is the wallet. I will just say my elastic was too small. I did know that before I started, so you do want to make sure that you have got slightly bigger elastic that it says. It is a cell phone wallet, so you can fit your phone, and because of the elasticated pockets, if you use the right side elastic, oh hold on, back, dropped it. You have a magnetic clasp, and if you watch the video you'll realise why I have pen mark on there. So you've got a slip pocket for there, you have a zipper pocket inside, and then when you open it up you have 5 slip pockets down, a pocket there, slip pocket there, and an open pocket there. So yes, you've got your big slip pocket here for your notes or whatever. It's a great sew. Oh, and you've got a detachable wristlet, but I did think if you did another one of these you could then make a longer strap and have it as a crossbody strap. The seams do get a little bit thick, so it is worth making sure your seams here get a little bit thick. I haven't top stitched this bit because I knew my machine would struggle, so just need to be careful of what fabrics you use for it and your machine. But it's a great sew, it's not too long. So yeah, I've still got to cut off the some of the threads. So yeah, please keep watching, and I'll pop in the link down below where you can get Rachel's pattern from. I do this just to help people to sew up Rachel's patterns. I don't get paid for it. I just do it because I want to help people and I like Rachel's patterns. So please, if it helps you, please like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Bye. Okay, so we're going to need our connector tab piece, which is our J piece. We're going to fold it in half to find the middle, and then we're going to fold in half again, and then we're going to fold in half again. We're going to take to the machine, and we're going to top stitch down the side. Oh. And then rather than just going back, I'm going to come back this way going to take our D-ring. I'm going to place our connector through our D-ring, and we're just going to stitch across as close as we can get to the D-ring. Go. I'm going to pop that to the side and we're going to get our next bit. Okay, so now we're going to need to get our wrist strap, which is piece L. I'm going to fold it in half. Fold it in half to make a crease. I'm going to bring that side to there and crease. And that side to the middle. I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to stitch along both sides. Okay, so we're going to stitch down the sides using the seam allowance in the pattern, making sure we are on our top stitch length, which is 3 on my machine. Come down the other side. To grab our D-ring, fold it together. We're going to stitch across here with the seam allowance mentioned in the pattern. And take it to the iron, but I'm just going to finger press. And then pop your D-ring in. And we're going to just stitch across here. I'm going to just trim that up. And now we're going to pop that to one side. That's our wristlet done. We're going to go on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to do the closure. So we need our 2 closure pieces, which is C, our female magnetic clasp, and a little tiny bit of that's Decaville Heavy. We're going to take our lining piece and we're going to fold it in half. Then we're going to take our ruler and we're going to measure up the distance required in the pattern. And we're going to mark the centre, and then we are going to take our magnetic clasp. Going to make a small hole. Always better to make a small hole because you can always make the hole bigger. It's really difficult to make it smaller. Poke our through. Then I'm just going to take this fingers and thumbs. My Sojo disappeared, so I haven't actually made pretty much anything since my last video that I put up. So we're back to hoping I've remembered the muscle memory. Right, and my thumbs don't want to work today. Right, so we're going to put that in, put that on, and then using the scissors, ooh, just going to bend it that way. Right, there we go. Now we're going to take our lining piece. We are going to put them together and we're going to stitch them with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Right, down to construction length stitch. That's not too bad. Right, I'm going to grab our pinking shears or just trim off the bulk around the corners so you can get a nice turn. Now we're going to turn that, almost said inside out then, turn that in the right way. Sorry, got a new camera angle. So I'm just trying to make sure I'm in shot for you. Always love my hemostats. Probably got too bigger. Oh no! No! Oh no. Something's leaked in my box. Okay. I probably just ruined this, but hey, it was for me anyway. Right. Oh. Talk amongst yourselves. I made this too small. Here we go. My thumbs are playing up today. So, oh look, it's got ink on it. Oh well, it's part of the design now. Random splash of colour. Well done. Oh, I'll come back. Okay, so I've turned it and it now has blue spotches on it. Hey, it's just part of the design now. Right, I'm gonna up to our top stitch length. It's easier to top stitch around this way so that the magnetic snap doesn't get in the way. Now I'm going to pop that to one side and we're going to get on with the next step. Okay, so now we're going to want our B piece and our flap that we've just finished and our number 3 zipper. Okay, so you're going to want to find the middle and we're going to want to base that to the 2 pieces. Now we're going to pop that aside and we're going to get on with the next bit. So the next bit is our our cell pocket bottom, so we're going to want to place our 2 pieces right sides together, and we are going to stitch across the edge here using the seam allowance in the pattern. Oh, back to construction length stitch though. I'm going to flip and we're going to just give it a press, and we're going to stitch all the way around it. We're just basting it together now. Now we are going to grab our cell phone pocket, which is piece A. We're going to need another little scrap of Decaville and our male connector. I'm going to take our main panel A. I'm going to put a little tiny slit in the middle, and then we are going to measure down. I'm going to draw a line. It's quite dark and I won't necessarily see it. I'm going to measure down the amount in the pattern, and that is where we are going to put our other part of our clip, our magnetic snap. Scissors. Oh, I'm going to blunt them. I normally use the edge of my desk, but that's not in camera angle. More fingers and thumbs tonight. Right, so now we've done that, we are going to mark down the distance stated in the pattern. And I actually think my elastic is not wide enough, but it's what I've got, so we will just make do with what I've got. So now I've singed the end so that it doesn't burn, it doesn't run. Okay, so we're going to take our lining fabric and we are going to mark down the distance in the pattern. It's supposed to be an air erasable one, let's hope it is. I don't think my elastic is quite wide enough, but it's what I've got, so we're going with it. Base down the sides, going to do exactly the same here. Bit rough eating, Claire. Right, now we've done that. Okay, so now we're going to get our front pocket, find the centre, put a little snip so you can see it, find the centre of here, and we're going to place on there like so, lining side up. Right, I'm going to give that a little baste so that it doesn't move. Now you're going to place these two right sides together. And now we're going to stitch, but we're going to leave a turning gap here. And we're going to sew using the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, so making sure we're on our construction length stitch and following the seam allowance stated in the pattern, let's sew round. Okay, so now we've done that, we're going to trim it down, but not the elastic, just on the corners, help reduce the bulk. And get a nice turn. Almost feel like I need to get whatever pen it was now that leaked and splat it so that this looks the same as the thing. Let's get our very technical pokey tool. Does my bobbin run out? Or did I stop too soon? Oh, you know what I did? I stopped too soon. No wonder the hole seemed so big. Hold on, let me rectify that and I'll be back. Okay, so now I've done that, let's turn it in the right way again. Hold on. Okay, so now I've turned it out, we're going to fold the top edges over and we're going to stitch all the way round. Make sure the corners are pointed out. And that's where, if you've used your trimmed your corners or used your pinking shears, then you get a nice tight turn up to top stitch length. Oh, hold on, I've got to redo my machine. Okay, so now I've resetted my machine, let's try again.
my elastic is well too small, but hey. Oh, not much I can do about it tonight. I thought I had thicker elastic than I've got. Right, so now we're going to set that to one side and we'll get on with the next bit. Okay, so as this is a number 3 zipper, it already has metal stoppers, so taking them off the bottom and then just make sure take them off the top. Okay, so now we're going to get our ruler and we're just going to mark down, and then we are going to I'm not quite sure how Rachel's doing hers slightly differently, but this is how I do them. So and then I just take them to the machine. Oh. There we go. Right, so now, okay, so we're going to take our zipper tab, which is piece G, we're going to fold over, and then we're going to fold that bit up to there like so. Then we're going to take our zip and we're going to mark down from the corner edge so we're going to take our zipper tab, and I actually marked it wrong to start with, I thought I had. We're going to line that up with there, making sure our zip is in here. We are going to stitch across. Oh, back down to construction length. So we're just going to, where are my scissors? I can just come a little bit past there, so there's some in there. Burn it. If I can find all my ones, I've got about 5 in there. One that actually works. Now we're going to fold this over. We're going to make sure this folded bit comes up to there. And then we're going to stitch that down, making sure you catch the underneath. Now this is the moment of truth. Yes, caught it. Right, so now we're going to pop that. Well, now we're going to get the next piece, which is B. So let's go and find B. Okay, so we're going to need our lining pieces. We need to find the middle. I'm just going to do that on both of them. Now we're going to take, going to find the center of our zipper tape, which I'm not going to cut, but I will mark. So now we're going to attach. So we're going to line up this centre bit, this centre bit. I'm going to pin. So our zip is face down. I'm going to sew across. Go across with just make sure we move the zip out of the way. And come across the ends. We're going to fold it over. Sorry, that was my son. Don't top stitch. We are now going to take our piece with the zip closure on, and we're going to take the bit here, and we're going to find the middle. She says, I think it's there. But what we can also check is that these line up. If these line up, it means that we've got it in the right place. So I've lost my centerpiece, so we're going to see, I'm all fingers and thumbs tonight. Right. I'm just going to tack that down because I seem to be, sorry, moving it out your view. Maybe if I sit down then I'm not. Oh. Let's line you up. Clips, clips. That's what you have clips for, Claire. Right, so let's just I'm just basting this in. My hands don't want to work properly tonight. So now we're going to take this piece, I'm going to place it over the top. And now we're going to sew it with the true seam allowance. Sorry, my thumbs don't want to work. Right, so now we're going to sew that across with the true seam allowance. So now we should have that secured. We can trim off this as long as we heat seal it. trying to pull that down. There we go. So now we go on to the next step. So next step, we want to actually top stitch just down this side. Oh dear, hold on, I've got to sort that out. Okay, so I unpicked it and redid it. So now we're just going to top stitch across here, making sure that we leave the flap up. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Oh, well, never mind. It's done now. I forgot to put the stitch length up. So, right, now we're on to the next step. Okay, so now we're going to need our flap piece. Oh, no, our main panel. And, I mean, my pattern goes either way. But you need to make sure that you have your bottom and your top. So this is going to be my bottom, so I think I might just put an X there. I'll forget what that's there for in a minute. I'm going to measure up the distance in the pattern and draw a line, and then for the top I'm going to come down, I'm going to draw another line. Okay, that's the bottom, that's the top. Right, so now we are going to, okay, so we're going to get our connector. We're going to add our connector to here, leaving some over the edge, and we are going to stitch it along the line we just drew. Got our D-ring. Now we're going to want to put this down on here. Now this has taken me a bit. You can probably see I struggled with this bit, but this is what you need to do, is you need the right side of your zipper fabric. And this is where it got a bit confusing for me, because I have plain fabric. So what we're going to do is we're going to stitch along here to stitch this down. So we have right side and right side facing up. And we're going to stitch along there, making sure we catch that down. I'm going to sew across. Now we're going to open the zip. Oh no, that's what I meant to say. Don't do what I did. Make sure you move your flap out the way. Oh dear, it wouldn't be a Claire video if I didn't do something wrong. Right, making sure you have removed your tab. Your tab is facing up that way and not underneath your fabric. If you do, you saw what to do. Just unpick it and go from there. Right, now you're going to take your two, making sure you've undone your zip a bit. Going to take your two lining pieces, which are right sides together, and we're going to clip them.
Now, the best way that was explained to me is we're going to roll it like you'd roll the inside of a tent. So you want to roll that together, and you just want to clip that, make sure it's all kept out of the way. Now we're going to take this over and join it up here. So we're sticking this to the wrong side. Let's use a few pins. Right, so now we're going to take that to the machine, and we're going to stitch across that with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Trying to make sure I've matched up the seams. Been a while since I've done any sewing. I've lost my magic touch. Right. I'm going to stitch that with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Done that right. Oh, let's make sure we take out the pins. We're going to pull it through. I'm going to pull that through. Oh. Yes! Yes! Right. Oh, yay! We did it! We did it! Okay. Now you can take that to give it a press, which I might do, and then I'm going to give that a press, and then I'm going to be back. Right, so you're going to take your cell pocket, just going to find the middle. I'm going to put a little snip there. I'm just going to fold here and not put a snip in this, but we're going to line up, and it tells you exactly how much further up than that line you need to put it, and then we're going to sew it down on the line that we drew. Right, so now we've done that. Okay, so now you're going to take your zipper bit down, and we're going to line it up with that line of stitching that we've just done, and we're going to pop a pin in. Just make sure it's nice and even. Pin in there, and a pin in there, and now we're going to stitch down the sides. I'm just going to baste the sides in. before we go down both sides. Now we're going to stitch along here. So we have now sealed in our zip. Now we're going to take this and we're going to line it up. So we're going to take up the cell phone pocket and we're going to bring it up. We're going to pop our magnetic snap on, and then we are going to stitch the sides. We're just going to baste them down. And yes, you need bigger elastic. I have got elastic that's too small. Oh. But it was all I had in my sewing box at the time. I managed to make me snap slightly off. So now you've got your cell phone pocket, which would have more elastic folded over like so, but I haven't got wide enough elastic. Right, so now we're on to the next step. Okay, so we're going to find the middle and we're going to just make a little snip. And then we are going to measure up the distance in the pattern. Draw an X. Line that up. Where's my seam ripper? Make a hole, make another hole, all fingers and thumbs. Again, mine's not quite big enough. It should be a bigger one, but I haven't got any. So now we've applied that one in the centre. We're on to the next step, which is, that's it, you finished this now. We're going to go on to the card slots now. So now we're going to do the card pocket. Now, I've chosen a fabric that's hard to see whatever pen I mark with, so I'm going to do it exactly the same way. I'm just, instead of drawing the lines to start with, I'm just going to go straight to pressing the lines. So I'm doing it wrong sides together.
making sure that they're nice and neat. Making sure. I did do it the other way when I tried a minute ago, and then I had to do it this way because I couldn't see the lines even after I'd drawn them. And I've got toothache. Right, so you should have 5 lines in total. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. And there will be fabric left over at the end, which is what we want. Right. Now when we've done that, we're going to take it to the machine, and we are just going to stitch just below, it tells you in the pattern where, but just below the folds we've just done. Hold on, I'll get my machine. Okay, so my machine doesn't like doing single layers particularly, but I'll do just across here. From that one. That one. Now we'll go back to the ironing. Okay, so now from that line that we ironed in on the right side, we are going to measure down the distance in the pattern and draw a line on the right side. On all of them. And then we want to make one more line, which is from this one we've just drawn, to measure up. Now, this is where, starting at the bottom, using your iron, you're going to bring up this fold to this line that we drew, and then I'm going to give it a press, trying to make sure it all stays nice. And I'm going to take the next fold up to the next line we drew. Keeping it all nice and straight. Next line we drew. I think it's recording. and then we're going to bring up the next one to the next line, making sure that we keep it all nice and straight. Because you don't want crooked pockets. And then this one we're going to bring up to that line that we drew up there. Get another press. And then I'm going to turn it over. And I'm going to give it a good press this side. Some of them are a bit wonky woo. And then we're going to take that to the sewing machine, and we are just going to baste down the edges here. And when we do it, it's best to do it this way down. Right, let's grab my machine. Now we need to stitch down the sides of our pockets. We're just basting them together. And if we go down this way, it means then they stay laying nice and flat. Right. Now we'll go on to the next step. So now we're going to need our F piece, and we're going to, okay, so we're going to need our F pieces. Now, a little bit of a hack here, just because I can't always cut straight, and this is straight because it's a pattern piece. We are going to place this on here, and then when we've sewn it, we're going to cut this bit off to make sure that the pockets measure the correct distance that we require. So we're going to sew down there with the seam allowance in the pattern, and these are right sides together. Down this side. Grab my scissors, and then I know they match, so this is sorted for me. And then what we're going to do is turn them out the right side. See, if you want, what you could do to reduce some of the bulk, is, where's my, very carefully just my pinking shears don't work great either, but we're just literally reducing some of that inside bulk. Not by much, but hey, As Tesco say, every little helps. Right. I'm going to turn that in the right way, and I'm going to do exactly the same with the others, and then I'm going to give it a press, and I will be back. Okay, just before I press this one, I just want to show you the difference between not pressing something and pressing something is. Okay, so now we're going to top stitch down the right side only of each one. So that's the top, that's the left, that's the right. Yes, I know it seems very silly, but I am actually, let's go around the other way. I am dyslexic, and left and right do not come easy to me. No, we'll have to do it this way. Yeah, we'll just have to do it this way and hope for the best. So that's the right side. Top. I know it seems silly, but I have done it wrong before. Left, right. Right, so now we can set those aside and go on to the next part. Okay, so now we're going to need our E piece with the interfacing on. I use a bit of Decaville Heavy and our male clip. Right, hopefully this is an erasable pen. So we are going to put that there for a minute. Okay, so we're going to measure up the distance in the pattern. We're going to add our clasp. Just do that. I don't have to go through the holes. I use the Decaville Heavy just to reinforce the snap, and always make a smaller hole, because you can always make a smaller hole bigger, and it's very difficult to make a big hole small. So now that's that. We are now going to measure our card pockets. So we need to, oh well, I'm going to go for it. What's the betting? It's not right, to measure down and down. Align. So we're going to align the left edge of the two completed left edge. So one's going to go there like that, and then the other one is going to go, oh look, almost upside down, almost like that. So let's baste those two down. Oh. Let's come up this way. a little bit thick there, but that's because you've got all those folds of fabric. Let's come across here, and then we'll just baste down here. Right, so now we'll get on to the next step, which is, okay, so now we're going to need our E slip pocket that we haven't already used and doesn't have the interfacing on. We're going to stitch across with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Going to be a little bit thick. Now we're going to flip that over. Nice tight edge. Oh dear, that's moved slightly. Hey ho. Let's stitch along here with our top stitch length. Right, so now we're going to add the slip pocket to the main panel. So we're going to need our lining D main panel lining piece and this one, and we are going to line up with the bottom. Now we're just going to stitch, sorry, machine came unthreaded. Now we're going to stitch down and around using the seam allowance stated in the pattern. We're just basting these together. Right, so now we're going to add the two together. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the main fabric panel is right side up with the magnet to the right. We want to take the lining panel piece and we want to have it right side down, so you've got right sides together, and the magnetic closure is on the left, so they're on opposite sides. Now we're going to pin it all together. how exciting. Pin it all together. I'm trying to keep it in shot. Right, so the side without the card slots, we want to leave a turning piece. So the bit without the panels is up here. So let's get my erasable pen. Right. Now we want to sew this with the seam allowance stated in the pattern. Construction length stitch, remembering to back stitch. Slow and steady wins the race. It will get a little bit bulky in places. Now we're coming up to another thick part. Make sure your zip's out of the way. And I have done what I said. Oh no, I haven't. Oh, I thought I'd sewn over. I thought I was going to have to get Jack out. Right. Right, so now using my pinking shears, I'm going to trim the corners, but where we haven't stitched, want to leave those the full length. Right. And where the elastic is, we don't want to trim the elastic, but if you need to, we can trim the fabric either side of the elastic. But I'm going to leave mine and see how we do, because I've just got cotton, so it shouldn't be too bad. By reducing bulk, it just makes it less. Oh, my pinking shears are jammed. That's it. Makes it less. There's less bulk when you go to stitch it up, and it evens out the bulk. Sorry, I'm trying to do this in frame. Right. So now's the moment of truth. Let's turn it in the right way. Okay. Oh, nervous much? Nervous. Right. It's been a while, about 5 months since I last turned a bag inside out. Strategically,
I'm not picking up my hemostats again, not until I've taken the glue pen off. Oh, that was a bit of my seam. That's why you always back stitch, because it will be a high tension area when you're pulling it out. Where's my pokey thing? My pokey thing, my very posh pokey tool, which is actually a cocktail stick, a chopstick. Right, I'm going to fold over those edge where we turned it. Right, now, oh, I missed a corner. Lining, my interface has come off a bit. Now I'm going to give that a very good press. Now, this is quite a bulky bit here, and unlike what's supposed to happen, but I didn't have enough elastic, is this elastic actually sticks out, but I didn't have the right size elastic, and it was too late when I realized it wasn't the right size. So this actually has the elastic showing, but unfortunately I've didn't have a big enough elastic so that you've got an elastic pocket to put this in. So I'm going to give that a really good iron, and I will be back. Okay, so now we're going to top stitch. The pattern does say to top stitch all the way around, but I'm not going to do this bottom bit here because my machine won't get through that. I'm a bit dubious about so I'm not going to top stitch this bit either, just because I know my machine won't handle it. So let's not put it through it. It won't matter, it will just mean that you won't have the top stitch on the top of the other side. As I said, I had the wrong size elastic. So I am going to stop just here. And we're just going to seal up. Ooh. If it gets caught, it'll be the magnet. I'm going to stop there. And that is your finished bit. Going to add wristlet. There you go. Tuck that in there, like so. Well done, you've finished. I'm going to cut off all the bits and you have your pocket done. Yay!